My dad wanted me to cook for his employees on my birthday. Let me start by saying I love my dad. He has always supported me and been there for me. Honestly, I know I am very lucky. However, there are times when he aggravates me, and this was one of those times. This weekend, I, 31F, will be having a birthday. My birthday has always been a rather inconvenient time for my parents growing up, given that it's near the end of the month, but not close enough to payday. So I grew up very used to a small mention of my birthday, and then doing something later at the beginning of September. As I get older, I care less and less about doing anything on my birthday. I am an introverted person, so I don't like going out, and these days, I am heavily obsessed with D&D. I have D&D games scheduled for both days this weekend, and honestly doing maybe like breakfast with my family, playing D&D and ordering a pizza seemed perfect for me. I looked forward to it, and it felt like a great weekend. Well, today, I got a text from my dad to come over and see him because he wanted to talk. My dad and his husband live across the street from me, my mom, and my younger sister. Yes, this sentence may make people stop for a moment. I'll put something on the end to explain that, but it's a sitcom situation. Anyway, I got the text to come over because he wants to talk. When he does this, it's either something serious, something he wants, or silly but well-meaning. I come over, and he's being very jovial. So he either wants something and is trying to keep the mood light, so I'll say yes, or he's got some kind of surprise. Dad continues, I seem to recall you got a birthday coming up, as I am glad he still remembers. Well, that's coming at an inconvenient time for us, he said in a very jokey way. I told him we could skip it for another day as I didn't mind, but he rebuttals with, no, we should do something. He then goes on to explain what he wants. For some small context, my dad runs a business in our state where he broadcasts high school games in a video stream with radio-style podcasting. He's done very well for himself in this business. This weekend, on the day of my birthday, he had scheduled a training session for old and new employees to learn how to run the equipment, as well as learn how to read ads and handle situations while on the air. I used to have to do these when I worked for him, but I am in school looking to become a psychiatrist instead. So, with the training day being the same day as my birthday, he would have a big dinner after the training so the employees could come over. His husband will make pulled pork, and then he figured to count this as my birthday dinner on top of it. I figured that would be fine and I would be done with D&D by then, but he then asked me if I wanted to cook sides for them while they were training. Cooking for 10 people not connected to me for my birthday did not sound appealing. Dad went on to explain he had a recipe for mac and cheese that he, I guess, wanted to be made as fresh as possible, and only after he presented his idea did he ask if I had any plans. I told him I was playing D&D that day, and he asked what time. I told him noon, and then he got annoyed at me. Why is it at noon? I told him that it's always at noon, a relatively new game for me, followed by a change in tone that sounded like he was trying not to be annoyed but failing and disappointed. So you can't do it then. I repeat, making me feel guilty about not doing him this favor for his event on my birthday that he was trying to say was, for me too. I tried to offer to make the mac and cheese ahead of time. I typically do a cheese sauce-based mac and cheese that would reheat well in the oven with some sprinkled cheese on top. I also tried to offer baked beans that I could cook Friday. They taste better a day after anyway. But whenever someone has said no to him or offered an alternate solution, he usually brushed them off, which was what he was doing with me. No, we'll figure it out. That's all I wanted to talk about, and I just left. I feel guilty. My mom and my friends have told me that I don't need to. And I know I don't, but it's hard because he has done a lot for me. Any other time I would have said yes. I would have just maybe left D&D early, maybe if it was on any other day but my birthday or something I wasn't looking forward to. I always do favors for him. I only say no when it's something I really don't want to do. This time, though, it feels a little worse because he's trying to make this out to be for me when it isn't. I have made my birthday dinner before, but that's because I do all the cooking now at home since my mom is handicapped. If this was just, we are going to have dinner. Do you want to come over and this be your birthday dinner? That would have been a nicer gesture, meaning I don't have to cook. It feels like maybe I'm making too much of a big deal, but it just vexes me that I feel guilty over something that I shouldn't, and I wished he maybe thought it out more or even texted and asked if I had plans this weekend first. Part of me is thinking of making the cheese sauce and showing them how easy it is to reheat with milk. I don't know, still thinking about it. Just wanted to get this off my chest and see what others think.